Hey, we're gonna shift gears here. We're gonna go to a special guest. We got a special guest for you today on the Father Son Coast to Coast Hotline. It's going to be Dan Rens. Let's bring Dan in now. Hey, we welcome into the Father Son Coast to Coast Hotline Dan Rens. Dan's an avid sports junkie. Graduated
Oh
from the
yeah.
University of Pittsburgh 5 years ago. Spent a couple years strolling around Texas. Spent a few years in Cincinnati. And in October, moved to Chicago, the Windy City. One of the big fans of the show. Dan Rens, welcome to the Father Son Coast to Coast
Yes.
Hotline.
Welcome. What's going on?
Hey guys, thank you so much. Big fan of the show. Love what you guys are doing.
Heck
Pumped,
yeah, man. We're glad to have you on. We're ready to talk some sports. You're getting slammed there in Chicago. I've seen some crazy pictures. You know, I'm sitting out here in San Francisco, beautiful weather, but yeah, you're getting pounded.
Yeah, the Chicago River is officially frozen. Lake Michigan is coming next, but yeah, we got about 7 inches of snow today. It is getting bad months of Chicago
Is
right now.
Dan Rens gonna break out his old hockey skates and go out on the lake? That's what I want to know.
Man, we were supposed to play hockey. We were supposed to play hockey two knee surgeries ago.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in a hockey league.
Hey, I've seen T Money stroll his skates. I've seen T Money skate around the Cincinnati parks before.
I had no clue.
Yes, you and Justine.
Oh yeah,
with little skates going around the park. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a healthy knee ago. So, but excited to have Dan on. Excited for that. You know, one day we may skate around in a hockey league together. But
Yes.
about that. Oh man.
But hey, man, what'd you think about the Super Bowl, Dan? We're just coming off of the Super Bowl. We're wrapping up our season, and what'd you think about the game?
Man, it was good. It was a low scoring game, or just it was. I was kind of thinking. I remember of like the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl. It kind of gave me that vibe at the beginning, and then Brady just started to pour it on, and
it was a crazy game. I mean, that defense that the Bucks had was wild. They had Patrick Mahomes running around for his life. Could you imagine? I mean, did you ever imagine him not even scoring a touchdown?
I know, because a big Bills fan over here. That looked like the Bills versus Chiefs. That looked like what Josh Allen was facing against the Chiefs defense 2 weeks ago.
Hey, we're gonna get to your Bills. We're gonna get to your Bills, man. But the Tampa game. You look at Brady. He did what we thought he'd do, right? Everybody thought it was gonna be a high-scoring game. Brady came through like we thought that he would. Mr. Consistency, which is what he loves. He wants to be consistent. He did it again. He was consistent. It was the Bucks defense that stole the show. They're not going to get any press because Brady is getting it all. But man, how about that Tampa Bay defense, man? Just superior.
Those linebackers were everywhere.
They were. I mean, even before the Super Bowl, were you betting the Chiefs? Were you betting, the Bucks? What were you leaning? Where'd your head have you at?
I was all over the Chiefs. I was against Tom Brady for obvious reasons. I didn't think he could do it. Who bets against the Chiefs? In that offense, they were rolling the whole year. They killed them the first game.
Yeah,
it was 24-3 the first quarter. I don't know.
So we look now at the odds for next year. They just came out today, and I'm working my way to the Bills here. Look at the NFC odds. Okay, Tampa and Green Bay are tied for the lead, so they are supposed to win the NFC. And guess who the third place team is? My hat here, the Rams. Third place, Matt Stafford brings them up to 3. So that's the NFC. But over in the AFC, I want to get Dan's opinion on this. T. The Chiefs are favored, to win the AFC, and then tied for second behind them are the Bills and the Ravens. So the Ravens are in there tied with the Bills. What do you think about, the Ravens being tied with you guys for future picks, Dan? And, then let's move and talk about the Bills.
I know. Well, just I think this whole season was awesome for the Bills. It's something that I'm always going to remember. It wasn't necessarily a negative at the end, like the Packers, the Saints, when they lost, it was heartbreaking. But the Bills getting over the hump, especially facing the Houston Texans last year and losing, getting 2 playoff wins this year, getting to the conference finals, only to lose to Mahomes. I think next season though, you gotta get back there, or else it's gonna be a disappointment. They're getting all their guys back. They're keeping their offensive coordinator. And
that was a big keep.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how they couldn't get back to face Kansas City.
What do you think that they need to add to their team? You know, do you see any like weaknesses, like, you know, maybe running back or something like that? Like, where do you see them need to add in free agency in the draft to really take that next step?
Definitely on defense. Go corner Tre'Davious White. I think he just got in just popularity vote. He was not good this year. They could not stop the run.
Definitely.
Josh Allen was running for his
pieces.
Life.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have to go through Mahomes, then you're definitely gonna need to up that defense.
They upped the offense. They got Stephon Diggs, and they picked up a couple other players like Gabe Davis and Zach Moss. Now, if they turn to the defense and fix that, here's this little stat on the Bills' defense against the run, including the playoffs. They went 15-4, but in the 4 losses, the defense allowed more than 100 rushing yards in all 4 of those losses. What can they do to pick up something? I think maybe on the D line. When you say, Dan, it's got to be that D line, or maybe the linebackers.
Yeah, they just got Ed Oliver from Houston, I think 2 or 3 drafts ago. He hasn't really shown anything. I think he was a 6th overall pick or something.
Yeah, he was definitely a top 10 pick.
Yeah, but they definitely need help there too. They were getting run all over.
Yeah. I think you're right, and I totally agree. This was a big leap year for them. It was a huge stepping stone, and I think, like you said, they shouldn't be looked at a negative in the season. You got 2 playoff wins, got to the conference final, won a ton of games. I mean, I agree. I thought this was a very positive ending for them, and a great season. You know, especially for Josh Allen. You know, how does everyone feel about Josh Allen in Buffalo? What's the sense like?
They love him. Give him the world. Give him all the money. they gotta lock him up forever.
Yeah.
No, it's just kind of like Cleveland.
Yeah. No, for sure. And he kind of has that Buffalo spirit. You know, he's a gritty guy. Like, it just seems, comes from Wyoming, seems blue collar like the city. So they've embraced him. It's funny.
Well, they announced the Super Bowl NFL honors. They announced the NFL's Fantasy Player of the Year. I don't know if you saw that, but Josh Allen was the NFL Fantasy Player of the Year.
Oh, really?
And then for the MVP, of course, they went to Mahomes. Mahomes was the MVP, but the Josh Allen was in the running and came in second.
No, he had so many rushing yards and rushing touchdowns that just like put him over the top.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. He was second in the MVP to Rodgers there, Garrett. Mahomes was in the
right. Sorry.
But yeah, that was great season for him.
Right.
MVP season. That's what it really impressed me. Every time you thought he was going to have a bad game, he kept piling on good stats and throwing efficiently. I think that was the biggest thing. His completion percentage went way up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they started 4-0. Then they went against the Titans and the Chiefs. They lost both of those. They were both primetime games. And then they had a really tough stretch. They were going against the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Chargers. And I was ready for them to go 3-3. They won them all except for that Hail Mary from Kyler Murray.
Oh, yeah.
And then they beat the Patriots twice this year. That was the best part about the season. Haven't done that since I've ever watched them. So
yeah, I'm sure that's awesome. You guys are kind of the new kings of that division. It's pretty funny how quickly you took over the Patriots.
That is true.
Yeah,
and Miami's kind of trying to get in there too, but you're right. Buffalo's got the upper hand.
I know. And then, so many years of just trying to fight off Tom Brady, and now you got to go against Mahomes. So we'll see. So
AFC is a tough route. There's a lot of superstars. Looking at the contract, and Team Money's our contract expert, but I'll just set it up. The 7th overall pick in the 2018 draft, 7th overall pick. He gets a 4-year, $21 million deal. He's in the 3rd year of his contract. And now we're looking at, okay, what are we going to do for him now? And Mahomes signed a 10-year, $45 million contract. He's probably not going to get that, right? So he's going to be more like a Deshaun Watson kind of contract.
Yeah.
When it comes
definitely.
up here, Watson earns $39 million. So what do you think in terms of Josh Allen? What does he get? Something along the lines of Deshaun Watson?
Definitely. I think going forward, he's definitely a top 5 or top 3 quarterback if you compare him to everybody else, just for his age and just what you're building around him. You got to pay him. You cannot let him go. You got to pay him whatever he wants.
Well, it's scary, paying these guys after their 3rd season, though, because technically they can wait another year, pick up his 5th year option, and now they can still pay him early after the 4th season. You look at the quarterbacks before him, Wentz and Goff got paid big after their 3rd year and have struggled the next 2. And the other side of the coin is obviously Mahomes and Watson, who did not. But it's a gamble after 3 years. One good year a lot of quarterbacks have had. Can he do it for multiple years now that people have film on him? I'd be hesitant to pay him this offseason, but if he has another season like this, I'd pay him next year, and he can still get that 5th year option and helps with the contract finagling and the cap space and whatnot. So would you pay him this year, or would you wait a year?
I guess I'm guessing with you. We should probably wait a year.
That's what I like to hear, Dan. That's my New Year's.
If you're the owner, you want to try and wait a year, but if he pushes it, maybe it's at his advantage to push this thing, Josh Allen, and try to get something now, because of that risk.
I don't know. I'm just so happy they got a quarterback. I've spent way too many years looking at they had Fitzpatrick, Trent Edwards, EJ Manuel.
Oh man. Tyrod Taylor took him
took him to playoffs against Jacksonville.
And then they shipped him out.
Well, what game, Dan, this year, when you look back at this year, Josh Allen this year, what game did he turn the corner for you? Did you say, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be a superstar? Because he wasn't like that last year.
No, it wasn't.
Now he is. So when was the turning point for you?
It was. I think it was the Monday night game against the 49ers. Because that was right after the Cardinals game where they lost. They needed a big win. Him and Diggs just turned it up. And then the next week, it was against the Steelers, who'd only lost 1 game. I think they were 12-1 or something. And then he turned it up again, turned it up against the Broncos. I think it was just right there because they were struggling in that middle of the season. They only beat the Jets by 1 score. They barely beat the Patriots. It was.
No, right. I mean, that was awesome. It was awesome to see him go on a tear like that. And, it big leap forward for that guy. So good for him and happy for the Bills fans out there.
Hey, let's move on to talk about some University of Pittsburgh basketball.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their scheduler. They're kind of in the middle of the pack, 5-5 in the ACC. But heck, Duke's 5-5 and Syracuse is 4-5. So they're in there in the bunch in this middle of the ACC with some other good teams. They just played 2 ranked teams. I'm just wondering what you thought about them as you think about these games they just played against Virginia Tech and Virginia, both top 20 teams. They went 1-1 against those teams. What do you think? What did you think when you saw them go up against the best of the best? Thinking about their chances in the March Madness. Can they hang with those kind of teams, Dan?
I think they can. I think they're definitely gonna make a tournament this year, which they've been struggling ever since they joined the ACC. It's been a huge struggle.
Yeah,
they have not looked good. The only I always think back to like 2019 and 2010 that when Kemba Walker took the step back against them.
That's what I remember.
Pittsburgh,
that Kemba Walker step back, man.
He's still doing it.
They're good. Yeah, he still is.
He's still good. Yeah, that was the 2010 Big East at Madison Square Garden. So that was the last time ever good. Jamie Dixon went to TCU.
Yeah,
the whole program fell apart. But they got capable in 2018. And man, we were just getting killed. He hasn't beaten Duke. We just beat Duke. They were 8-2. I was so happy. Then they lose 3 straight to just trash teams. Like you said, they split with Virginia Tech. But
see, the Virginia Tech game. Virginia Tech they beat, and they had a guy named Xavier Johnson, who's a 6'3", 200-pound point guard.
Yeah.
Got 32 points. What's your feeling for Xavier Johnson?
Yeah, he got benched. I forget why, but he got benched and he just went off in that second half. It was awesome.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So what's his skill set? What's he got that's going to make him unique when it comes to March Madness?
Oh man, I don't know.
He obviously can score.
Yeah, he's a
He
beast.
obviously
I
can
mean,
score.
biggest thing right now is, like you said, they're 9-6, but and they're in the second 4 out, so the first 8 out right now. So they need to win a couple more games. Okay. I just looked at Joe Lenardi's bracketology. So
nice.
They are technically on the bubble right now. They're big. So, I mean, hey, in that ACC tournament though, anyone can win. That's why I love the winner of the tournament's always getting in. One thing I love about March Madness. And if you play a couple ranked teams and then all of a sudden you're not a bubble team anymore. So they could win a big game in that ACC tournament, get a little notoriety. I mean, they definitely, like I said, they got a great point guard, score a lot of points, and they got it. They're finally starting to, build a program there after Jamie Dixon left. So I'm excited for March Madness to start coming around here.
I know. Yeah, me too.
They also got a guy named Justin Champagne that scored 18 points and grabbed 10 boards against Virginia. 6'6", 200. That guy's a great player too.
Yeah, I think he's leading the ACC in scoring. Supposed to be a late first-round pick. So
interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
So they got some potential. They don't play any ranked opponents the rest of the way. To T Money's point, it'd be nice if they had a ranked opponent that could get him into playoffs, but the others have to win out, man.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
When you with your engineering background, I know you're a mechanical engineer. Now you're like a process engineer, right, Dan? You've moved from mechanical to expand now to process. So you're probably an expert at lean and making things more efficient.
Lean Six Sigma, yeah.
So tell us something either about the University of Pittsburgh basketball or the Buffalo Bills. Your recommendations for how those teams can improve their efficiency. What do you think?
Man, Pitt just gotta get better recruits. Nobody wants to come because the program's bad. They just need to go back to 2010. They had the #1 seed in March Madness 2 years in a row with I think it was DeJuan Blair.
Yeah,
#1 seed. They just gotta get back to that. I have not seen them good in a long time.
Certainly. I mean, that's a lot of competition in that league. Big Ten too. You got some conferences where it's really tough to get out of.
Yeah, ACC is very deep. So they got recruiting's where it starts. So they need to hit that trail hard, find some gems. So, but I'm looking forward to a good season out of them. Hopefully they can squeeze in and get off of that bubble.
So Dan, who do you root for now? You're in Chicago. You're falling in love with any of those Chicago teams? What are you kind of getting attracted to over there?
Man, I don't really ever have a baseball team. I've been kind of jumping cities, going from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, but now I think I'm going full Chicago Cubs. I think that's gonna be my Chicago team.
Okay.
All right, joining the Cubs, huh?
What kind of drew you in there? Was it the hedges? That tradition. You look at that field, you're like, oh my God, this is history right here. What drew you into the Cubs?
Man, it's just that whole area by the stadium is just awesome. It's live. Everybody goes there. It's just something else.
Well, what's the bar to go to around there? I might need to know just for research purposes. If I ever happen to be in Chicago.
Hey man, bars just opened up finally, so we are getting back to them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard great things about that area by the stadium. So and Wrigley's supposed to be one of the most iconic stadiums in all of baseball. So that's awesome. Picking the Cubs. You got teams scattered around the country, don't you? I mean, that's hilarious.
So can you actually hit the ball into that hedge and get it lost? I think you can, right? Like it can go into the hedge. So that's kind of a weird thing about that stadium.
No,
it's up against like apartments and stuff. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, you hit into hedges, and then the players, the outfielders go like that because they don't want to touch it because they want it to be a double.
Ah,
You know,
yeah,
turn
that's
into
a good
triple.
move, man. I'd be raising my hands up right away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, T Money, anything else you want to wrap up here with?
No, just happy that we got to get Dan on. You know, he's been a great supporter of the show, and we wanted to, bring him on, talk about the Bills because, they had a great season, and he's been chirping and texting us, commenting on everything about how to put more respect on the Bills.
Yes, please.
I dogged him a lot, so I wanted to invite him on so he could plead his case, and I will say they ended up doing way better than I thought they would in the playoffs. So I eat my words.
That
they
is
won
true.
2 playoff games, and I would have said they didn't win any. So
Yeah, you guys were dogging them against the Colts, dogging them against the Ravens. It was probably justified against the Chiefs, but come on.
So finally we got it right after 3 tries.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a blast.
No, man. Hey, thanks. Thank you so much. Big, like I said, big fan. You guys are doing great work. Excited to see the future with you guys.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Thanks for coming on the Father Son Coast to Coast Hotline. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you later, man.
Well, hey, that was a fun interview, Team Money.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed talking to Dan.
That's awesome, man. It's crazy seeing all that snow he's got in Chicago and talking to Bills fan. Those guys are crazy. So, happy for him this year. That was great to hear, the Bills fans, the Mafia finally getting a big year under their belt.
Yeah. Those Bill fans, man, they're just so excited about their team.
Yeah.
And that's great, man. That's what a dedicated fan base is like right there. And Dan's one of our biggest fans on this show. We love you fans out there. Dan's one of the biggest, man. He's always giving us ideas and sending things our way. And we want to encourage all of you guys. You tell us what you like. You like the T. Ross rant? You like T to chug 2 beers? We'll make him chug 2 instead of 1.
Wait,